Sean Diddy Combs. Looking to suppress evidence in his federal trial, senior investigative correspondent Aaron Kutcher is back with the story. Good morning again, Aaron.
And to you, Michael. You'll remember federal agents from Homeland Security Investigations were hardly shy when they raided Sean Combs' opulent homes in Los Angeles and Miami, guns drawn. The jailed music mogul now argues those searches and other searches of his iCloud accounts, electronic devices, and New York City hotel room following his arrest were unconstitutional. His lawyers argue evidence obtained through those searches must be suppressed. Diddy's lawyers say the government presented a grossly distorted picture of reality when applying for the search warrants, omitting certain facts and including salacious details from an unnamed producer that were never credible. Combs has pleaded not guilty to racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and prosecution charges. The defense is also arguing here his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, was a willing participant in drug-fueled sex performances called freakoffs, not coerced, as prosecutors allege. This latest challenge to his case comes 3 months before trial, and as Combs loses one of his attorneys, Anthony Rico says under no circumstances can he continue to represent Combs. He offered no details about that decision, Robin.
Okay. All right. Thanks to you, Aaron.
To make matters worse, Diddy's motion to get the tape of him beating Cassie removed from evidence has also been denied. First posted by CNN, the video footage showed Diddy violently beating Cassandra Ventura and then dragging her by the hair. Diddy's lawyers have tried multiple times to get this video removed from evidence, and they are now saying that this footage has been edited to make Diddy look worse. They say that the original tape is over 30 minutes long, and editing it to make it shorter makes it inadmissible.
Combs wants that video or videos excluded from trial, and for that, we turn to his motion in limine to exclude video footage of that March 5th, 2016 incident. Motion in limine is a pretrial motion that aims at preventing evidence from coming into trial or limiting it in some way. And it starts by saying, quote, "There is no longer any dispute that the CNN footage from March 5th, 2016 at the Intercontinental Hotel offered by the government at 3 separate bail hearings is wholly inaccurate, having been altered, manipulated, sped up, and edited to be out of sequence. As indicated below, CNN paid Redacted, don't know who this person is, Redacted, for footage, copied that footage in unknown ways, presented that footage out of order, and destroyed the original. Accordingly, all the footage from CNN is inaccurate and inadmissible. As for the 2 items of footage filmed by an iPhone 6, those pieces of footage are inaccurate and inadmissible as well for the reasons set out below." Now
Let's talk about the showdown in the courtroom over the bombshell video allegedly showing Sean Diddy Combs beating his then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura.
Now, Diddy's lawyers are arguing to exclude the footage from the rapper's upcoming sex trafficking trial. Legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer joins us now with more on what this could mean for the high-profile case. So good to have you. Okay, so they want this video left out. What's their argument for this?
So Mark Agnifilo, Sean Combs' attorney, is arguing that, you probably hear this phrase, this is not a true and accurate representation of what the video depicts. He's saying a number of arguments that the CNN had taken this video and sped it up. They kind of chopped it up into this montage, and it's not accurate. He's also making the allegation that the original video no longer exists. And so because this isn't accurate, the jury shouldn't see it. And according to Diddy's attorneys, because the original doesn't exist or it's been tampered with, no video such as this should be presented to the jury.
So what is CNN saying about these claims?
So CNN has come out and said, we did not alter it. We did not change anything. And in fact, they're saying that they do have the original as well. So on multiple levels, Sean Combs' argument kind of falls flat, because if it is sped up, and I think there is some degree of it's being sped up, if the original still exists, that can still be used as evidence against Sean Combs, not necessarily to the allegations of trafficking, RICO conspiracy, or the transportational purpose of prosecution, but to show that this is a force that it was used to keep victim number 1, who we believe to be Cassie in this video, under his control for the purpose of trafficking and this RICO conspiracy.
Diddy's legal team just filed a motion claiming he can't be held responsible for the crimes he's accused of because he was under the influence of drugs and alcohol. In plain English, I was too high to know what I was doing. It's an absurd Hail Mary, but they're dead serious. They even have a psychiatrist lined up to testify that Diddy's cognitive functions were impaired during the time of the alleged assaults, trafficking, and coercion. But prosecutors aren't buying it. They filed an immediate motion to block that testimony, arguing that mental impairment doesn't excuse criminal conduct, especially when the crimes span decades and involve calculated coordination. Even worse, Diddy's request to suppress the most damning evidence, including security footage and sex tapes, has already been denied. He's out of options, and that's exactly why his lawyers are bailing. Back in 2016, Diddy was caught on surveillance footage brutally beating Cassie Ventura in a hotel hallway. He dragged her by her hair, threw objects, and screamed at her in full view of the camera. The footage was buried until it resurfaced through CNN. Diddy's team called the video edited and misleading, claiming it was sped up and taken out of context. They filed a motion in limine, a pretrial motion, asking the judge to toss the video as evidence. The judge's response? Motion denied. Worse still, CNN claims they do have the original unedited tape, and the court is preparing to show it to the jury. Cassie won't be hiding behind a pseudonym. Unlike other victims, who will testify anonymously, Cassie is coming forward in public. She'll be taking the stand under her full name, in full view of the court, to describe in detail the abuse she endured. The moment she does, the floodgates are expected to open, because after Cassie came forward, a wave of new accusers followed. Federal agents raided Diddy's homes in LA and Miami. What they found was shocking. Tapes, recordings, and hard drives allegedly containing footage of the so-called freakoffs. These weren't parties, they were alleged sex trafficking operations, staged, recorded, and cataloged. Diddy's team tried to claim the evidence was obtained illegally. The judge wasn't having it. All of it is admissible. Attorney Anthony Rico, a key member of his legal team, filed to withdraw from the case, stating that under no circumstances could he continue representing Sean Combs consistent with the ABA standards for criminal justice. Translation? He saw what's in that evidence, and he wanted no part of it. Diddy's high-powered entertainment law firm, Grubman, Shire, Meiselas, and Sachs, dropped him too. After more than 20 years representing him, they're out. Rumors are swirling that Lady Gaga herself threatened to leave the firm if they didn't drop him. This isn't just about legal fallout. This is about celebrities scrambling to distance themselves from the collapse. Usher, living with Diddy at the age of 13, was never supposed to be a red flag. At the time, it was sold to the public as mentorship, an opportunity for a young rising star to learn from one of the most powerful men in music. But now, that arrangement looks like a carefully constructed trap. New video footage shows Diddy making comments about sharing a bed with Usher, reminiscing about their mornings together, and joking about frosted flakes and wrestling. He even admits on camera that they used to wake up together when Usher was just a child. The tone is off, the energy is off, and the world is finally catching on. What was once passed off as eccentric behavior now reads as something much darker. With Diddy currently facing accusations of trafficking, abuse, and coercion, these old clips are being reevaluated. Then came Usher's interviews. In one Rolling Stone conversation, Usher confirmed that as a teen he lived in Diddy's house, stayed up late at parties, and was exposed to curious adult activity he didn't fully understand. He stopped short of calling it abuse, but the implications were clear. During the trial, prosecutors are expected to call Usher to the stand, not just as a character witness, but as someone who may have been groomed, and his presence in the courtroom will change everything. Because Usher isn't just a name, he's a face, a legacy, someone fans grew up with. When he testifies, the entire tone of the case shifts, and it gets worse. Because when you pair those childhood years with what later came out, the herpes lawsuits, the allegations of sexual recklessness, the timeline starts to look more like a pattern. Usher paid over $1 million to settle a lawsuit from a woman who said he knowingly gave her an STD. The details were disturbing. A greenish discharge, emotional trauma, multiple partners. That wasn't a one-time mistake. It was a domino effect, and the first tile might have tipped over at Diddy's house. Former insiders like Gene Deal and Jaguar Wright have come forward to confirm the rumors. According to them, Diddy's parties weren't just wild, they were predatory. Drugs, underage guests, and cameras everywhere. Everything was documented, everything stored. Now, With the freak-off tapes being entered into evidence, it's clear that what happened behind Diddy's closed doors wasn't just for kicks. It was calculated. And if Usher confirms what many suspect, Diddy's trial won't just be about Cassie. It'll be about a decades-long system of exploitation. This is why prosecutors fought so hard to keep the footage in. This is why the judge denied the defense's request to suppress it. And this is why Diddy's attorneys are running for the hills, because the trial isn't about just one moment anymore. It's about a legacy of power, manipulation, and silence, and it's all crumbling. The courtroom isn't just watching Diddy unravel, it's watching an entire era collapse, because what's happening now doesn't stop with Combs. It reaches into every corner of an industry that's spent decades protecting its stars and silencing its victims. Behind the velvet rope, beyond the flashing lights, there was a system where young artists were promised fame in exchange for silence, where parties blurred into manipulation, and where no one dared speak against the king. Until now. Diddy's latest move? He tried to delay the trial by 2 months. He claimed he needed more time to prepare, but the judge wasn't having it. With 4 law firms and months of legal wrangling, the court ruled there was more than enough time to get ready. That ruling was a death blow. It means jury selection starts on time, it means those freak-off tapes might be played publicly, and it means every attempt to suppress the evidence, the video, the psychiatric testimony, the cell phone footage, has failed. The prosecution has built a narrative that stretches far beyond Cassie. In fact, Cassie is just victim number 1. Victim 2, victim 3, victim 4, they're all preparing to testify. Most will remain anonymous, but their stories are eerily similar: drug-fueled parties, coercion, surveillance, and silence. And then there's Ashton Kutcher, one of the last people anyone expected to show up in this trial, but insiders say he's prepared to testify. Why? Because what he saw at those parties might corroborate the victim's claims. Sources close to Kutcher say he was shocked by what he witnessed, and while he's not a victim himself, he may be a key witness to the culture that Diddy created, the culture of excess, of control, of fear. Meanwhile, Diddy's legal team has floated a new claim, that the entire prosecution is racially motivated, that the system is trying to take down a successful black man because of his power. It's a bold defense, and one that some believe might resonate with jurors. But there's a problem. The victims, including Cassie, are also black. Many of the prosecutors and legal officials involved are too. And the argument falls apart under the weight of the evidence, because at the end of the day, this case isn't about race. It's about what happens when power is unchecked, when money protects predators, and when the people who were once untouchable are finally forced to answer for what they did. Diddy thought he could ride this out, that money, lawyers, and fame would be enough. But now his empire is cracking, and with Usher stepping forward, with Cassie preparing to testify, and with every failed motion piling up, the end might be closer than he thinks.